Starting up the stream now, or not the stream, the video now. So, we just got done. Don't you laugh, you dog.
I'm sorry, I just watching you spell correct people over here as an English major. It's quite humorous.
Yeah, by the way, I'm pretty sure the title for the last How Powerful I released was wrong. I didn't even feel like correcting the spelling, but I'm pretty sure it's spelled incorrectly.
You know, how about you?
Hang on.
Wait, how powerful or protagonist swaps?
Protagonist swap, my apologies. I'm a little tired.
Okay, yes. Well, you know that you spell most of your videos wrong, right?
Yep. But here's the thing though. When I do it, it's a joke. When you do it, it's a shame.
Well, you know,
I don't know. I don't know.
it's okay to make mistakes sometimes when you make them as little as I do.
Bruh. Okay, Balrog. So, we had just finished our wonderful journey through Bulletstorm, or not Bulletstorm, through Advanced Warfare. Everything ended up okay. Just a few casualties along the way, but I think we really got the right person in charge by the end. So, now that they've gone through that journey, it's time for the Advanced Warfare crew and those.
I'm sorry, just to go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna interrupt you. Go ahead.
I know, I
You
know.
just have a
Because everything I said was 100% correct. There's no reason for you to interrupt me, is there, Mingler?
no, not at all.
No, not at all. That's the right way to say it. So, with that in mind, we are now doing the Advanced Warfare crew through the events of Bulletstorm, and I knew something about Advanced Warfare. I know fuck all about Bulletstorm's story.
So the great part about Bulletstorm is that you don't have to know anything because we're going to be skipping a lot of this campaign because a lot of shit only
Fantastic.
happens. A lot of shit only happens because of certain characters being here and certain decisions. So for one, we're skipping the prologue entirely because that's technically the tutorial section. It's also the prologue, so it's not really the first part of the game. And when you restart the game over on higher difficulties, it just starts you at the beginning of Act 1 after your ship has crashed. So the scenario for Bulletstorm is basically that you're part of a squad called Death, which is basically a disgraced commando unit that had been sent on assassination missions by General Serrano to kill reporters and shitloads of innocent people. Um, you didn't know about this until your last mission, and the rest of the soldiers in the Confederation just think that you're like a bunch of mass murderers and like serial killers. And you decide on one of your last missions in a drunken rage to essentially take your little spacecraft and attack the Ulysses, which is like the capital ship of the Confederation, carrying the general that ordered out these hits. And you basically try to take him down to Earth with you. And as a result of this, you end up getting like half your crew killed, and Ishi gets turned into a robot. That doesn't really happen here because, as we mentioned before, squad swapping. So Ishi, Trishka, and Gray get yeeted out of this universe. The other two members of the crew, the Doctor and Rel, are dead. So who gets dropped in their place? Mitchell, Oda, and Gideon. This is a protagonist swap, so they get their stats, their strengths, just none of their intelligence, equipment, arsenal, anything like that, or their resistances. However, since this is they are getting their stats, this actually is a massive difference for the Atlas soldiers because if you recall, they are usually superhuman and they can sometimes break you like walls, maybe even the small building levels of range in terms of their power. However, they could only do that with the exosuit. Now, because of Grayson's thing, their exosuits are that strong all the time. And also, they're technically that strong. The exosuit mainly gives them, in this case, the enhanced mobility. So they're a lot stronger and they're also way faster because now they can move and react to bullets. Because most of the characters in the game, when you shoot the sniper rifle at them, can basically see the bullet midair and they will start running away from it. Um, but yeah.
Oh, so that's why you mentioned in the last one about being fast enough to control bullets in mid-flight.
Aside
You're lagging.
from that, Not huge change. Okay, how about now?
All right,
Is it better?
that's better. Yeah, you continue.
Okay, I kind of want to try and leaving, maybe resetting with like the earbuds.
You can do that real fast. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but the audio quality is gonna go down
Uh,
more than a.
I mean
Just be careful.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So while Mangler's doing that, yes. So we recently just got done with the crossover into Advanced Warfare. This is actually our first protagonist swaps outside of the hack and slash genre, I believe. I don't think we've done a protagonist swap yet outside of it. So this is our first attempt at a different genre for the protagonist swap.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's starting off our squad swapping. Though honestly, I think the munitions decision I might have gone a little bit overboard. Well, actually, not really that overboard because they didn't really have enough enemies to try it out on, but still. Anyway, um, as this is a squad swap, I did the same thing with Grace, and I basically gave him access to the Confederation pods to give him ammo. So I think it's only fair that the Atlas soldiers, Sentinel soldiers, whatever have you, they get access to their own ammo kits, and I am going to give them an Atlas orbital satellite that is brought into the universe right when they're brought in, and it will give them a tactical overlay. Their mission, as prescribed by the omniscient narrator, is to kill General Solano. Um, so they'll be deployed on this mission. They'll be given like a nav point for where he's supposed to be located, where his down Ulysses is. They are to make it to his location by any means necessary and kill him. Since that is basically Grayson's decision, I know in the actual campaign, his main decision is to use him to get off world because Ishii wants to get off world, but Ishii does make it clear by the end of the campaign he understands Grayson wants to kill him. So the whole group is on board killing him. Trishka wants to kill him because Trishka realizes the guy killed her father or got his father killed. So pretty much everyone wants to kill Serrano. The player wants to kill Serrano. Everyone wants to kill Serrano. This is a massive dick.
All right. Sounds.
It's kind of his entire character. All right. So since they're just professionals, they're just going to be sent in and be like, yeah, we're just going to kill Serrano. So they'll start off where the main base of operations is. And since they are COD soldiers, you might ask, what are they getting? What kind of equipment are they getting? Well, Grayson got access to all of his weapons, but I don't think I'm going to sit here and run through every single weapon that they do have access to because, like, let's be honest, there are way too many fucking weapons in Advanced Warfare. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give them access to the best EXO package, their best grenade packages, and then like their two best weapons with like handguns, two major pieces of equipment for each person, and then like maybe like one extra bag of equipment. Okay. So I just need to check. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying. All right. That seems fine.
Yeah, I just have to check something in Advanced Warfare. I just need to check the actual name of one of the guns in particular, so I just get this right. But it won't take me too long to load it up. I know they'll all be getting the Alice 45, which is just 45 caliber pistol at their disposal as a sidearm. Gideon and Alona will probably get like the EM1, which is like an infinite energy laser gun. One of them will get access to a sniper rifle railgun. And then they will all have a weapon as their default, which will be this assault rifle. And it is called. Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
You don't know the name
The
of this?
IMR. The IMR. It is a 4-round burst weapon, but why it matters is that it has what's known as print rounds to ammo reserve. So this gun is a weapon printer. So when you shoot it, it will print rounds into your stockpile. And no, I don't mean it's an energy weapon that recharges. It literally prints bullet rounds into the stock like a printer. I don't know how it
I was
works.
gonna say that makes literally no fucking sense what you just said.
I don't know how it works. I did. It's not like energy. Don't anyone ask me to explain how the fuck this works, how they managed to create a printer inside a weapon that prints real bullets and doesn't stop because it does it indefinitely, which means you have basically infinite ammo. So it takes a little bit of time. Keep in mind, they have energy-based weapons that have infinite ammo, so it's not beyond the capabilities of the Atlas Corporation to make weapons with infinite ammo. I'm just saying, don't ask me to explain how the printer works. I don't know. The game doesn't explain. It will just print rounds indefinitely. Sue me. Okay.
So how does that work exactly?
You just fire, and then just shut up. I got it. So aside from that, they'll each get like a satchel charge, which you can just slam on the ground, just blows up an area. They each get one new charge. I explained what the new charge was in the bullet storm thing, but like for context, it is a bomb that you can put on the ground that when you detonate, it eliminates all sound within like a 30 to 40 meter radius. So you can kill everyone, obliterate everyone in the area, blow up something, and unless someone actually sees it happen, they won't know that it happened. It is basically a room level silencer.
That's pretty good.
And then they will all have access to mag grips and grapples so they can magnetically cling to any metal surface. Grappling hooks that can basically lift their entire weight of their body and cling from area to area to area. So basically, just imagine trying to think of something. Yeah, just imagine they have the freaking like I don't know, like the wire snatch from DMC5, and just use it to
You have
fling
not
themselves
played
around.
you have not played a lot of games with the grappling hook, have you?
I have played I have played plenty of them, but all of them are slipping my mind right now. I don't know why. I played so many.
Allegedly.
Um, yes, they will also get access to 3 exo abilities: Sonics, Cloak, and Overdrive. Overdrive basically makes them so fast they can basically run past other characters and just basically gives them like superhuman strength. But in this case, well, actually, no. Overdrive doesn't do that. I'm thinking of something else. Overdrive does
Are you looking it up?
yeah, okay. Overdrive is the one that basically speeds up the perception of their brain and time basically slows down around. So it's like the time dilation thing from Vanquish, or well, pretty much any time slow mechanic where the user's perception speeds up so fast that everything around them seems to slow down. Each one of them is going to get access to that. They're going to get access to sonics, which can basically just shoot a sound wave at high pitch velocities that will then just deafen everyone around them. Uh, and then they also get Exo Cloak, which in the game has and almost an infinite usage duration. If you stand still, it basically never drains. If you turn it off and then turn it back on, it drains. It comes back in like 3 seconds. Um, yeah, their active camouflage is basically equivalent to the elites from Halo. They can have it on as long as they want, as often as they want. And I think if you at least the active camouflage that you have in the game, if you shoot from cloak, I don't think it even gets rid of the cloak because physical motion doesn't spare the cloak either. And there's equipment in the campaign where you can shoot with the cloak and it will not get rid of it. So you can literally stealth kill people while cloaked, and they will never be able to know what happened.
You know, I when I first heard of Advanced Warfare, I thought it was kind of a cheap knockoff for Call of Duty to follow into a futuristic idea. I thought they were being unoriginal with it, and I thought they were being kind of
No,
cheap about it. And then you tell me everything in the game and all the technology in it, and I'm just like, you know what? They actually did a really good job taking the Advanced Warfare scene. All these weapons do sound super futuristic that wouldn't exist ever under any circumstances.
honestly, some of these weapons are a little bonkers because keep in mind this game only takes place in the 2550. This game is only 30 years ahead of us. Think about that.
Well, time to get started.
Well, I think aside from that, they have the variable grenades. 6 variable lethals and 6 variable tacticals because that is the maximum. And then they'll get a couple packages from the orbital drop throughout the game. And then I think that's it. So we can start with our first scenario where they just go through the beginning of Chapter 1, Act 1, where they're just in like this little, I guess, destroyed wreckage area after the ship. They'll just run through here. They'll run into a bunch of the skulls, the creeps. They'll find the leash, which Mitchell's not going to understand what the fuck the leash is. But of course, he'll pick it up after he sees the final Echo Soldier basically die. Then, just out of curiosity. And then when he examines it, he's going to start having like weird DNA seizures because the leash basically goes through your instinct and connects to your DNA.
What?
And yes, so the leash connects to your very DNA, moderates your instinct as an ammunition, and then logs the data of your visuals and your kills back to the Confederation, and gives you an overhead display in your eyes. Basically tells you like, hey, from now on, whatever you kill, the Confederation will grade your performances based on your kills. And we're just going to say Mitchell's going to ignore that because it's not his primary objective, but he is going to still use the leash regardless. So he's just going to completely ignore the Confederation because he does not give a fuck. Also because he's not aligned with their faction, and Gideon and Alona are going to completely agree with him because they're just there to accomplish a mission and then get back to their world.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So they're gonna sweep through the first couple area because the creeps and the skulls are honestly really weak as fuck. But with their exosuits, they're just gonna go flying through this location because they have a lot more mobility than Grayson Hunt does. Second part, I'll say chapter 2 of Act 2 is really simple. They just go through the rest of this building location, and then the thing is that they mainly go through this location in the where it's the power plant in the original game because they have to get a power cell to Ishii, but that's not really relevant here because Ishii's not with them. None of them are cyborgs, so they're just gonna go straight through and go straight to the train, and then take a ride out of here, all while killing every single soldier here. They do have the skills and the capabilities to be able to do. If anyone was wondering, they've killed, they're literally COD soldiers. They kill like legions and legions of other soldiers from other armies almost single-handedly. If anyone's wondering, like, how the fuck are they getting through all these crazy prison inmates that are batshit insane? It's not that difficult. And honestly, if I want to be a dick about it, I could just say they cloak through the entire campaign. If I want to be a dick, I could just say they could speedrun EXO their way through the campaign and just run at people and punch them Fallout unarmed style, and then like leash people off the sides of like they could literally run through the campaign like fucking Spider-Man. Except now Spider-Man has a gun and can turn invisible.
So just Spider-Man
So,
with the gun.
Spider-Man with a gun. Well, actually, no, they're exactly like Spider-Man because they have mag grips, so they can cling to walls. They need to.
Bruh.
There are a few vultures here, but I'm just gonna be honest, vultures are fucking worthless. They're dog shit examples of helicopters. And they also mean nothing when you could just leash the pilot out of the copter or just shoot him. Just activate overdrive and shoot him midair. Yeah, so they're gonna get destroyed.
It's like, yeah, their first mistake was fighting a Call of Duty protagonist. They really should have known better.
Also, there is like a wheel thing. There is like one raider guy that gets inside of a wheel, but they do make it. I will point out that in the campaign, not only are the COD protagonists very, very alert, they are super alert all the time. They're constantly pointing out things, much like the Bulletstorm protagonists. The instinct moderated stuff actually makes you react to things the instant they happen. Because in the game, there are quick time events where you are expected to press a button to react to it. And it's not a gameplay mechanic. The actual game explains that the Confederation rewards precise accuracy and then explains to you the QuickTime tutorial. So it's a canon thing. that the leash forces you to respond to something immediately when it happens. So your reaction time is drastically improved. So they're going to see the guy trying to jump into like the giant wheel driver, and they're just going to kill him. So that entire mission's not going to happen. You're not going to be running from that giant skyscraper class fucking wheel chasing you through the desert like a super weapon. That's not going to happen. They're just going to take a nice little comfortable drive to the desert.
Nice little comfortable drive, huh?
Yeah, so here's where it gets a little weird. So in the Bulletstorm campaign, there's about 3 or 4 different times that you're running through the campaign and your route gets destroyed because some of the creeps and skulls of the various gangs on the island obliterate your route. That's not going to happen at any point during this campaign. They literally run over the bridge where you're going. I don't know where that bridge leads. I don't know where it leads, but it's supposedly going in the same direction. So we'll assume it gets them closer to General Serrano because he's on the opposite side of like the city. So we'll just say it goes somewhere near chapter 2, basically. And they end up in one of the amusement park areas, and they get access to that giant robotic dinosaur thing, which goes about as well as you think it does. They pick it up and they start rampaging through a city with a remote controlled dinosaur with laser eyes that just starts shooting the shit out of everything. Yeah, again, not really any deaths here. They might run into, I mean, if I wanted to be charitable, I could maybe say, well, okay, well, I did forget to separate Alona because technically Alona was taking Trishka's place, but honestly, even if Alona were separated, she would just communicate to fucking Gideon and Atlas and just tell her, she would just tell them where they are and to come find her. They falls hordes and hordes of the creeps and skulls. So even if I did actually separate them, I forgot to do that. Apologies. Actually, no, that would make it worse because then they would get to the location even faster because now they have a nav point halfway through the battlefield. And then they'll just they'll make their way through the end of Act 4. Wait, no, they won't because at the end of Act 3, you get to the top of a dam.
Damn.
And the only reason that so you get to the top of the dam and it collapses because Grayson Hunt pulls down parts of the generators that make it unstable in order to make platforms so you can walk across it. But you have no reason to do that because 1, you're not a fucking idiot like Grayson is. 2, you have an exosuit. You can just fly across. So they also have mag grips. So they're just going to crawl their way across and just go across the dam, skip around the entirety of Act 4 because Act 4 is at the bottom of the dam across a lake. There's no reason for you to go down there. So yeah, they're basically skipping large portions of Act 2, some of Act 1. The entirety of Act 4 is just skipped.
Okay.
Then I guess after that, we'll just go straight through to Chapter 1, which is, Burnout Paradise. Oh, that's great. So they get into the sections with the burnouts, which are basically like super mutated like people, and they are technically strong enough to, I think they are strong enough to hurt Grayson, because Trishka basically claims that when they get out there, most of her Echo Squad was wiped out, and Grayson's like, well, could they not handle a bunch of creeps and skulls? I'm like, no, the creeps and skulls are fine. It's the burnouts that's the problem. They basically slaughtered one of my first tours here. They basically slaughtered my entire Final Echo squad. And the thing is that Grayson, well, also you and Ishi, tear through like hordes of these things, but they are incredibly durable and they can only be killed really when like you shoot the spots on their armor. So I'm just gonna say that like after an encounter with them, the Atlas soldiers are just gonna like fly over some of the buildings and just cloak themselves, and they're just gonna sneak through the Burnout Paradise area because they'll just realize, oh my god, these guys are taking up so much fucking ammo. though at this point they would have skipped through so many areas, not because they were trying to avoid people, but because they just weren't stupid and didn't break parts of the level. So, yeah, I think they're going to skip Act 5 too, because again, they have mobility. They could just jump on top of a building, cloak out of there, because they're going to realize the burnouts take too many bullets to kill. And it's way too much of an hassle to shoot the red spots in their armor, so they're just going to sneak around them and leave the area. Till we get to the end with Act. Well, oh my god, I cannot.
Yeah, I can't really help you out here. I'm not familiar with Bulletstorm at all as a game.
Yes.
Always a game I meant to play at some point, just one I never picked up because I just never got around to it.
At the end of Act 5, I do believe you get access to, I think, a vulture to provide firing support against a giant monster, but that also doesn't happen because you don't fall off the bridge in Act 1 to fall into an underground cavern to shoot this giant rock monster's babies, which then comes out of the cavern and basically obliterates the entire area in an attempt to kill you. So it's not going to show up here in this mission because you didn't fall into the cavern in that mission. So you didn't vulture just fly straight up to the building where General Serrano is, and then of course he's gonna congratulate you. Like, oh hey, you guys look a little different than the Echo Squad that was expecting to rescue me, but some obscene amount of profanity, and then it's gonna claim that you're here to rescue him, and then Jack Mitchell's just gonna be like, "Are you Serrano?" It's like, "Yes, sir, I am," and then he's just gonna put a bullet in his head, and then
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Serrano's probably going to fight back, but like he's going to realize he's outnumbered 3-1, and these soldiers are really fucking well equipped. I mean, I guess we could have a mini boss battle if you want to, because he's not really a boss, but like, I'm just going to go through the list of options. Threat grenade is immediately going to track him. They're always going to know where he is. They can turn invisible. So he's not going to be able to see them. They have sonics, so they can deafen him immediately. They can all use overdrive. Keep in mind, all of them have access to this exosuit, and the exosuit can be customized anyway. So if anyone wants to say there's no package that has that, I'm saying that they do because they can be customized that way. They are in the campaign. Pointing that out. Overdrive basically slows down time. He's going to be moving like a statue from their perception. They're going to shoot him. He's going to die, or at least he's going to take damage. What the fuck else? I mean, if they wanted to, they could just assassinate him. Like they could just drop in with a mute charge and just kill him from behind. He wouldn't even know that they're there because all sound would be nullified. They could just come up behind him, snap his neck. Or, if they want to do overkill, they can contact the orbital platform and ask it to drop a Goliath suit. And then,
So what?
Or drop all of its packages.
So what was a Goliath suit? Just like a mech suit, like a bigger exoskeleton?
It is a giant exoskeleton that has a automatic trophy system, homing rockets, a chain minigun, and then an extra additional rocket, all of which can resupply their ammunition in like seconds. And it's also like tanky as fuck and can fight like in the campaign when you use it effectively, you really fight like platoons of exo soldiers and other ASTs and tanks, and you rip through them like a one-man army. It's basically to the exo soldier what the exo soldier is to like a regular guy.
I see. That seems excessive.
The mission where you have it is disgustingly excessive. Though to be fair, during that mission, your arm is basically broken, and he puts you inside of an exosuit, but like you're basically God when you're inside there. They could also system pack him, but I don't know how that's valuable that would be. Just or aerial assault drone him, or hit him with a Vulcan, or kill him with a wasp, which is just a small. It's like the Dragonfly from BO2, except it's invisible, and it can do all the same stuff. It can probably ping you too, because most of these score streaks can also be upgraded. And if I were to look at these score streaks that are listed here, I've actually checked them. Most of the score streaks have the full upgrades that can be anyway. So I can actually just argue we'd be able to like ping them with a threat package. But yeah, Serrano's gonna die. They're not gonna have to go to his in chapter 7. They're not gonna have to go to his ship at the drop ship point. That's coming to evac him because they're gonna get there way sooner since they skipped over half the mission. So he's not going to have his dropship filled with platoons of heavy echo soldiers that might actually be a threat to them. They're not going to have to fight any of those soldiers, though they'd still plow through them anyway. They're not going to have to fight them because they're not going to get there soon enough to rescue Solano. He's going to be dead way before then. The rock soldier's never going to fuck with them because they're never going to kill its babies, so it's never going to come out of the cavern. The giant man-eating Venus flytrap in Act 4 is never going to fuck with them because they didn't fall off the dam. So yeah, like almost all the monsters in this world are just not going to mess with him because they're not there, and they're going to have one encounter with the burnouts and then just skip past them. So yeah, campaign's over. Honestly, I don't even think they need a package because it's not even that they're skipping. So many of the acts they're just like walking past because there's sections where they don't have to do anything there.
You know, it sounds like spoiler warnings for the other protagonist swap, but it sounds like these two people had some of the best lives just swapping positions. Easy peasy.
They did. Well, so there was actually one section that would have put them at risk in Act 6. There is a radioactive tunnel that probably would have killed them all if they fell into it. Um, but they do have Geiger counters on their suits,
Of
so
course they do.
they can tell if it's radiation. Okay, yeah, why not?
What fucking else do their suits not? What do the suits not have?
So you know how they don't have helmets, right?
Yeah.
Like the exosuits don't. They still have a visor, apparently. Alona confirms that they have a HUD that you can sync to, even though when she says that she's not wearing out. Which means they have some visual thing in their head or their brain that basically works the same way a visual overlay works, like a HUD.
That is stupid.
And
I
it's
want you to know that. That is stupid.
the stupid is the 3D printed round gun thing that apparently is infinite ammo.
I mean, it's.
The cloaked score streak.
I mean, to be
which
fair,
thing?
it is living up to its name of advanced warfare. That sounds very advanced.
Yes, it was a very well marketed game.
All
One of
right,
the reasons why it was
so
great.
I must say, two very successful adventures in protagonist swap. I must say it's a little interesting having that happen for both protagonists of a series.
Yes, I was not expecting no deaths in this run because technically that was a possible death in Act 6.
I think you were caught off guard by the fact that when you started talking about it, you realized there were several sections that just weren't going to happen anymore that you don't have to worry about.
Well, so I knew the dam section wasn't going to happen, but I completely forgot that Act 1 has you run into that giant monster like dragon, and then you just skip it because the only reason you encounter it is because one of the raiders chases after you with the giant fucking wheel and cuts off the bridge, and you fall off the bridge down into the cavern. But the bridge never gets destroyed, and it's also shows up later in the campaign. So yeah, so many encounters just don't happen. Honestly, they only skipped one place one time, and that was just the burnouts, and that was just because they were like, yeah, we can just go past this. There's no reason for us to stay here.
All right, well, fantastic then. Sounds good. Any final comments, or do you think we're good to go?
Overall, I'd probably say like, yeah, they probably just didn't need I think I need really to mention the orbital packages that much, but like just for clarity's sake, they didn't need them. But like they could have called them down at any time. The same way Grayson Hunt has access to the Confederate quads in his protagonist role. But he probably didn't really need them unless he just wanted to use them because he also had access to the Atlas equipment, which, as you can tell, is bonkers.
Yes,
Little cracked.
That Atlas gear is nothing to scoff at. No sirree.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the harmonic pulse. That one's also really interesting. Apparently, you can put it on a wall. Yeah, it's called a harmonic pulse. It's this little piece of gear like the size of like a little like a the base of a coffee mug, right? And you put it on a wall, spread it out a little bit, like the size of the space between like your hands, and it basically states that it, at least Gideon states, it reads biodiversity through about any material, and what it does is it shows a scan of the opposite side of the wall and any organic material on that wall. So you can use it to scan into a room and see everything in the room that is organic. And then you can tag everything in that room to someone's visor. So you can basically shoot people through a wall without them assuming your weapons can penetrate the material. It doesn't allow you to penetrate the material, but allows you to see what's on the other side of the wall. So you can just shoot people through a wall and kill everyone in the room before they even know what's going on.
Nice. Yeah, no, the weapons of Advanced Warfare sound incredibly cracked. Like that is just silly.
Most of these are just little pieces of tech that everybody has access to. Again, you use mute charges like every single mission.
Ridiculous. Well, all right then. That'll be it for this video. Thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I don't know what order I'll be releasing these, but yeah.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Thank you guys for your time as always, and have a nice day. I'll see you guys on the next stream or video. Take care, everybody.